On May 10, 1940, Germany unleashed over 600 aircraft against Belgium. The Aéronautique Militaire had fewer than 200 operational planes, many of them biplanes designed in the previous decade. In 18 days of desperate fighting, they were overwhelmed, but the story didn't end there. Belgian pilots escaped to Britain, rebuilt their squadrons in exile, and fought for 5 more years. 17 aircraft, one nation's war, from biplane defense to liberation.
Fighters. Let's begin with fighters. Hawker Hurricane. Contract for 80 Hurricanes placed with Avion's Fairey SA in 1938. Single Rolls-Royce Merlin III producing 1,030 horsepower. Planned armament: 4 13.2mm FN Browning machine guns, heavier than the standard British .303 Fit. Only approximately 18 were operational on May 10, 1940. Stuka dive bombers destroyed 10 of 11 at Schaffen airfield within minutes of the invasion's first hours, before a single Hurricane could get airborne to fight. Gloucester Gladiator. 22 Gloucester Gladiator Mk2s delivered to Belgium from 1937. Single Bristol Mercury 9 producing 840 horsepower. 4.303 caliber Browning machine guns. Top speed 253 miles per hour. Technically outclassed by the Bf 109 in every category. Yet Belgian Gladiator pilots flew with skill and aggression, claiming multiple kills during the 18-day campaign before surviving aircraft were grounded by the capitulation on May 28, 1940. Fiat CR-42, Falco. 34 ordered, 25 delivered from January 1940. Single Fiat A.74 RC38 14-cylinder radial producing 840 horsepower. 2 12.7mm Breda Safat machine guns. Top speed 267 miles per hour. Magnificent dogfighter, utterly outclassed by the Bf 109. Stukas destroyed 14 CR-42s at Brustum Airfield on day 1. Survivors flew 35 missions and claimed at least 5 German aircraft destroyed, including a Messerschmitt Bf 109. Renard R.36, Belgium's most advanced native fighter, captured before it could fly operationally. Single Hispano-Suiza 12 YCRS, delivering 910 horsepower. Planned armament: 4 7.7mm FN Browning machine guns, plus 1 20mm motor cannon firing through the propeller hub. Top speed 314 miles per hour, faster than the contemporary Hurricane. 1 prototype built. Germany found it in a hangar on May 10, 1940, and flew it back to Germany for technical evaluation. Supermarine Spitfire. Exile squadrons of the Belgian fighter force. Single Rolls-Royce Merlin 45 delivering 1,470 horsepower in the primary Mark V variant. 2 20mm Hispano cannons plus 4.303 Browning machine guns. Top speed 374 miles per hour. Number 350 Squadron, formed October 1941, became the first non-British Commonwealth fighter unit in the RAF. Both squadrons flew D-Day beachhead patrol missions over Normandy on June 6, 1944. Curtiss P-40 Tomahawk. Number 349, Belgian Squadron's initial mount on forming in Nigeria, November 1942. Allison V-1710-33, producing 1,040 horsepower. 2.50 caliber plus 4.303 caliber Browning machine guns. Top speed 345 miles per hour. Equipped for ferrying duties and conversion training before transitioning to Spitfires. Not glamorous work, but it built the foundation for one of the Free Belgian Air Force's frontline fighter squadrons that would return to liberate their own country. Bombers and attack. Moving on to bombers and attack aircraft. Fairey battle. Approximately 15 Fairey battles delivered to Belgium by Avion's Fairey SA from 1936. Single Rolls-Royce Merlin I producing 1,030 horsepower. One fixed .303 forward gun plus one flexible .303 in the rear cockpit. Top speed 257 miles per hour. Already obsolete by 1940 standards, they nonetheless flew against advancing German columns in the first days of the invasion, before catastrophic losses and airfield destruction brought Belgian light bomber operations to an end. Fairey Fox, Belgium's most numerous aircraft type in May 1940. Approximately 90 Foxes across Fox 2, 2IC, VIC, and 8 variants equipped 9 escadrilles. Fox VIC specification: Hispano-Suiza 12Y producing 860 horsepower, 2 forward-firing FN Browning machine guns, plus 1 flexible rear Lewis gun. Top speed 227 miles per hour. Flew nearly 100 sorties during the 18-day campaign. One Belgian Fox pilot claimed a Bf-109 destroyed. Renard R.36, Belgium's only indigenous aircraft to see real combat operations. 32 built by Constructions Aéronautiques G. Renard from 1935. Single Rolls-Royce Kestrel IIS producing 525 horsepower. One 7.62 mm Vickers forward gun plus one 7.62 mm Lewis gun on a flexible rear mount. Flew 54 reconnaissance sorties supporting Allied forces during the invasion. The final combat mission flown by the Belgian Air Force, May 27, 1940, was in a Renard R.31. Hawker Typhoon, No. 609 Squadron hosted a dedicated Belgian flight from February 1941, with 54 Belgian pilots serving during the war. Napier Sabre 2A, producing 2,180 horsepower. 4 20mm Hispano cannons, plus rockets or 1,000-pound bombs. Top speed 405 miles per hour. Baron Jean de Célis Longchamp led the famous January 1943 strafing attack on Gestapo headquarters in Brussels. Remy van Leerd destroyed 44 V-1 flying bombs, flying Typhoons and Tempests. Heavy bombers. Now let's look at heavy bombers. Handley Page Halifax. Belgian aircrew flew with RAF Bomber Command in Halifaxes over occupied Europe. 4 Bristol Hercules 16 radials producing 1,615 horsepower each. 9.303 Browning machine guns in nose, dorsal, and tail turrets. Bomb load up to 13,000 pounds. Maximum speed 282 miles per hour. Belgians who had escaped through France and Spain volunteered for the most dangerous sustained bombing campaign in history, flying deep into the Reich night after night. Trainers and support. Continuing with trainers and support aircraft. Morane Saulnier MS-230, the primary basic trainer of the pre-war Belgian Air Force. Single Salmson 9AB 9-cylinder radial producing 230 horsepower. Open tandem cockpits, fabric-covered biplane construction. Top speed 143 miles per hour. Completely unarmed. Still operating from Belgian flying schools in May 1940 when the invasion struck. Some MS-230 crews flew liaison sorties before their airfields fell. Survivors were evacuated, ultimately reaching Britain to continue training free Belgian aircrew. De Havilland Tiger Moth, foundation of free Belgian pilot training in Britain. Single de Havilland Gypsy Major producing 130 horsepower. Open tandem cockpits, fabric-covered biplane, fixed undercarriage. Top speed 109 miles per hour. Unarmed. Belgian pilots who escaped through Spain and France arrived in Britain with flying experience ranging from 0 hours to combat veterans. The Tiger Moth standardized their basic skills before advancement to Oxfords and Harvards for multi-engine and fighter training. Airspeed Oxford, advanced multi-engine trainer that produced Free Belgian aircrew from 1941. Twin Armstrong-Siddeley Cheetah, X engines producing 370 horsepower each. Enclosed cockpit, retractable undercarriage, full radio equipment. Top speed 188 miles per hour. Prepared Belgian pilots, navigators, bomb aimers, and wireless operators for operational aircraft including Halifaxes and Spitfires. Hundreds of Free Belgian airmen qualified on the Oxford at RAF training establishments before joining frontline units. North American T-6 Texan, advanced fighter trainer that produced combat-ready Belgian Spitfire pilots. Single Pratt & Whitney R-1340 Wasp producing 550 horsepower. Fully enclosed cockpit, retractable undercarriage, 1.30 caliber machine gun. Top speed 208 miles per hour. Bridged the gap between basic biplane trainers and high-performance monoplane combat aircraft. Belgian pilots destined for number 349 and 350 squadrons completed their advanced tactical training on the Harvard before converting to Spitfires. Douglas C-47 Dakota, transport backbone of Belgian Exile Force Logistics. Twin Pratt & Whitney R-1830 twin Wasp engines producing 1,200 horsepower each. No armament. Top speed 224 miles per hour. Payload capacity 6,000 pounds or 28 fully equipped troops. Carried Free Belgian personnel, government officials, and vital supplies across Britain and North Africa throughout the war. After liberation, C-47s were among the first Allied aircraft to return Belgian officials and supplies to Brussels. Caudron C-440 Goland, light communications aircraft of the Belgian Exile Forces. Twin Renault 6Q inline engines producing 220 horsepower each. Fully enclosed 6-seat cabin, retractable undercarriage. Top speed 193 miles per hour. Completely unarmed. Operated for inter-base transport, staff movements, and liaison missions across Britain and North Africa. Small numbers served the Belgian government in exile throughout the war for administrative transport, connecting the scattered elements of Free Belgium across multiple theaters. From the Renard R.31 that flew Belgium's final combat mission on May 27, 1940, to the Typhoon pilots of No. 609 Squadron's Belgian flight who struck Gestapo headquarters in Brussels and hunted V-1 flying bombs over southern England, these 17 aircraft tell a story of catastrophe and extraordinary resilience. Belgium's Air Force was annihilated in 18 days. 10 of 11 Hurricanes at Schaffen were destroyed on the ground before a shot was fired. The Renard R.36 prototype, potentially one of Europe's finest fighters, was captured intact. But Belgian pilots refused to surrender. They escaped through France, through Spain, across the sea to Britain. They rebuilt in exile, qualified on Tiger Moths and Harvards, and returned to the fight in Spitfires and Typhoons. No 350 Squadron, the first non-Commonwealth RAF fighter squadron, flew over Normandy on June 6, 1944. 17 aircraft, one nation that refused to stop fighting.